Okay, well, the thing here was we lived next door to a ball player at that time. People might not know who I'm talking about,
In
but his name
Cleveland.
was he was with he was with actually absolutely the California Angels and Chicago. His name was Ken McBride. In fact, he started the 1963 All-Star game.
Wow.
He was a real good pitcher, good guy. And when he would leave for his teams, he would rent them to the Indians. And there was all sorts of Indians that lived there. We had Dick Williams, the former manager, lived there. Uh, Russ Nixon lived there. And then, of course, Rocky Colavito, who was a very good friend of the families. And I think you've seen him a few times. You probably still remembers me as a little kid.
Yep.
But Rocky was my hero. I always think of today with all the things they have in the media. Rocky would be a sensation because he was a good guy. When he lived next door to us, he'd be sitting on his porch and there would be kids lying down the street waiting for his autograph.
Wow.
I'd sit there and watch him. He was a very popular guy. He hit home runs, and I mean, he was just was just a good guy. Period. And today he would be big time. When I think of LeBron, who I really enjoyed today, I mean, let's face it, LeBron took over the city as far as a number one man, but back in those days, Rocky was the number one guy. And you know, I don't know. I can tell you more things about him as far as what I did. He used to play for us, and then a guy by the name of Frank Lane, who used to be our general manager, traded him in 1960 for Harvey Keene, which was trading a 300 hitter for a home run hitter. And the people here went crazy. I don't think we ever lived it down. We're still trying to live that down. And Rocky was just a superb Cleveland Indian. And so he went to the Detroit Tigers for this Harvey Keene. And what I did then as a kid, I was 10 years old then. I started to become a Detroit Tigers fan, and I listened to them because you could pick them up on their radio from Detroit. You could pick it up easily from here. So I'd listen to all the games and I followed them, and Rocky was my hero. And then eventually he came back in '64, actually saved the Indians from moving out of town. He came here and the attendance went back up, and he was here for a
Wow.
couple of years. And then eventually the DH wasn't in play then. So he would have made a tremendous DH, but at that point he was just a couple of years away from having the DH. So he went out, he retired, and but as far as I'm concerned, he had the biggest influence on my life. I mean, Rocky was really something, and knowing him was even better. When I would tell people I knew him, they probably didn't believe me, but it was the truth. He lived next door to us. And like I said, he got friends with my grandfather, who at the time was the council clerk of Cleveland, city council clerk, Thad Fusco. And they hit it off real well. And he hit it off real well with my dad. My dad was similar to Rocky Colavito in a lot of ways. Both being Italian, they liked the same Italian dishes, and my mother would cook for them. And it was a fun time in my life. And I was just a little kid, and I really didn't understand the meaning of it all until I got older. And then as I got older, it was long gone. I wished I would have been around, or I would have been my age then, to be able to understand what I do now about the sport. But I didn't back then. And, but it was fun.